At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, happy Monday morning to you. It is Monday, May 13th. It is a Monday morning. We're getting ready for another work week and a hot one at that. It's going to get a lot hotter. More on that in just a second here. I want to show you some really awesome photos here. Now, we're probably, a lot of you, especially if you've been on social media all weekend long, you've probably seen a lot of pictures like the one you're seeing on your screen. But, you know, here's the thing. A lot of people took the time to go to the Weather NorCal app and send me some of their most beautiful photos here. Now, all the photos that you're looking at are from Friday night. That was the main event, folks. We were expecting to maybe see another event Saturday night. And we did in some areas. It just wasn't as spectacular. Friday was the main event. And then we didn't quite see as much as we went into last night. And of course, I checked out this morning when I woke up, nothing. But this is actually sent by Rob Ramshaw of Mount Shasta. But his friend, Mindy Reston, sent this from Lake Shastina. This is probably one of my favorites. I'm going to show you another one that I really like too, but this is out at Lookout, California, also taken Friday night, early Saturday morning, courtesy of Tim Moore. Just a beautiful shot there. Just outside of Chico, this is courtesy of Shannon. There you can see some of the, some of those streaks kind of coming down as well. Take a look out at Lake Macomber. This is courtesy of Tanya Gale and Sean Lamb. So there, of course, is the lake itself, and you can see just some wonderful colors here, and taking you out to Lake Shasta at Jones Valley, courtesy of Irene. Again, some of those streaks, just, I mean, you can't see enough of these. Now, this one is probably also one of my favorites. This is one that, if I took it, I would get it blown up as a picture and hang it up on the wall. I mean, this is like a painting. This is a watercolor, as far as I'm concerned, courtesy of Suzanne Davis. I love the silhouette of the trees, and then you got in the distance. Not only can you see the beautiful colors there of the Aurora Borealis, the Northern Lights, but you can see the stars, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I want to thank everyone for sending their photos. Again, so many of you sent them in. I can't honestly show them all because it would take me like an hour to show all of them. Okay, maybe not that long, but you get the idea. By the way, if you want to send your photos, you can send them through the free Weather NorCal app. Now, it doesn't have to be, Northern Lights. Again, we're kind of done with it. I think a lot of people may realize, all right, let's move on, because, yeah, we're all going to see photos probably for the next several days, and you're probably going to get sick of it. So, I'm pretty much done with that, but I just wanted to show you some of those awesome photos that we did see. By the way, speaking of the Aurora Borealis and the Northern Lights, this is just kind of a quick look. I want to show you here for tonight and into early tomorrow morning. The strongest we're going to get as we get closer to dark is a G2 storm. To give you an idea of what we saw over the Friday night, it was a G5 storm. You have to have a high of G5 or a G5 storm in order for us to really kind of see what we saw. So we're not quite seeing the geomagnetic activity that we did see over the weekend. So just kind of a quick reminder that we're just not going to see much out there. All right, real quickly, too, I want to remind you that tickets are still available. The first rodeo for Reading Rodeo is this Wednesday. And if you want to go check it out on Wednesday, you might want to make sure that you get your tickets before they get sold out. And of course, there's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday as well. So you can go to readingrodeo.com. You can also go to call the box office at area code 530-241-8559. Let's get you out the door this morning, and it's warm. It's getting warmer out there, folks. We're in the mid-60s by 8 o'clock this morning for the Valley. North Coast, even mild. It's getting a little foggy, overcast this morning. I do want to show you what it looks like out at Trinidad this morning. You can see you've got the overcast skies there. And let's take a look at, I've got it here, take a kind of full screen here. You can see what it looks like in Crescent City as well. A little overcast there as well. So these overcast skies are pretty much the case here for the coast. And just kind of wanted to show you that because, again, it's one of those situations where you're like, man, oh, shoot. there's out the door. Let's try that again, shall we? That's what it looks like on the coast right now. This is Crescent City. You got the overcast skies there as well. And again, just kind of do a comparison as we look at Elk Country just north of Trinidad. You do have those overcast skies there as well. All right, so there you can see temperatures in the upper 50s for Trinity County this morning. And I mean, even in Modoc County, pretty mild temperatures in the low 50s. At the current hour, though, we are in the 40s. Chester, one of the cooler spots at 39, 44 Alturas, 44 degrees for Bernie, 51 Susanville, and for the coast, around 50, give or take. Mid 40s for the inland areas, low 40s for Trinity County, and there you can see what we're looking at here with the valley, mainly in the low 60s. So we've got most of the energy up to our north. That's pushing the area of high pressure that's over us is pushing that energy to the north. And as a result, we'll be looking at those warmer temperatures. Now, again, the coast, still a little foggy. I think it's going to be hard for especially most of Humboldt County. Central and northern Humboldt County, I think are going to have a hard time clearing out. But I think, Del Norte County, southern Humboldt County, you might get to see some clearing this afternoon. But I think that fog may be a little bit more persistent elsewhere along the coast. By the way, there's also a chance for a few stray sprinkles or showers in the eastern mountains, but for the most part, it'll be dry. And that's what it looks like through 10 o'clock tonight. So that fog probably sticking around even tonight. So here's your forecast for today. Temperatures in the low 90s, actually a little bit warmer possibly than it was yesterday. 92 degrees for Redding as well as Chico, 90 in Oroville. And for the mountains, we're talking mainly 70s, although some of the 80s in there like Quincy and Bernie, Mount Shasta City, for example. Along the coast, you're in the low 60s, but again, you don't have to head too far inland and it starts to warm up pretty significantly back in the upper 80s, mid to upper 80s here for places like Hoopa and Willow Creek. Here's your 7-day outlook for the valley. Oh, there it is. I'm going on a limb, folks. Well, not really. It's not that hard to do this, but overall, I'd say splitting hairs. If I were to put a high of 99 degrees, you get the idea. Wednesday's the peak of this heat wave. But if we hit 100 degrees Wednesday, we will in less than a week have seen 90 for the first time this year and then seen 100 degrees for the first time this year. So, some of those arguments of we go straight from winter to summer, well, yeah, some might argue that, but we've actually seen some pretty mild weather here. Yes, there were some streaks of some warmer weather, but then some breaks in there as well. So I beg to differ. And maybe we'll take a look at some calendars of March, April, and May here later on this week and kind of show you an example. But here's the 7-day outlook for the coast, inland, and for Trinity County. See temperatures also peaking sometime around midweek before we see a dip in our temperatures going into the weekend. And again, it's a big dip. You're not going to notice it as much for the mountains, but you're going from 86 degrees, 88 degrees Wednesday, Thursday, back down to the 80s, low 80s by Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely warming up out there, and we've got to, in a sense, kind of get used to it. That's kind of the reality of it all. Take a look at some of these cameras. This is out at Caltrans cameras. Main Street, Chico. Look at that sunny skies to start off the day, and not to mention out towards Highway 99 at Neal Road. It looks like we've got some traffic and some buses moving along there. Looks like a little fog trying to develop there along. You can kind of see that's the Sacramento River there. But Sundial Bridge Drive on Highway 44. You look at this and go, oh, it just feels kind of warm outside, and it's going to be warmer out there. Yeah, it's moving along. There's a light breeze out there, but look at that, just gorgeous. There's a look at the release coming out of Lake Oroville. Doesn't look too terribly impressive, but makes for a spectacular sight there. Well, today is Monday, and that means we have got our Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. It is sponsored by Cottonwood Small Animal and Large Animal Clinic. Now, we are going to, which it wasn't too long ago, we took a look at the lorikeets. We're going to have another quick little lesson about the lorikeets, but also get a little bit of an inside scoop of what to expect with the Turtle Bay, their show, Walk on the Wild Side. They have a theme every year. So we're going to learn more about this year's theme and what you can expect as you're checking out the Walk on the Wild Side show, because yes, it is debuting. I believe it's today. So really exciting that they're doing that. So let's get you right to it and take a look at Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, brought to you by Cottonwood Small Animal and Large Animal Clinic. Hello everyone, Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. You are watching Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals here on Weather NorCal. And with us today, we have got Jessie and birds all over you.
Birds galore.
I don't have a mommy because I don't have nectar cups, but let's talk more about these. These are lorikeets.
Correct. They're an Australian type of parrot, but as you look around, you can tell that they look a little bit different. So we actually have 9 different subspecies of Australian lorikeet with us.
9 different ones. Now, what's really fun about this, I learned about this last time, is you've named them all number 1, which is crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's true.
But number 2, their names are after colorful candies.
Colorful candies, and
right?
it suits them quite well. Yeah.
So, like Skittles.
Yep, we have like taffy, we have sweet tart, we have gumdrop, all of those great ones.
If you can think of a colorful candy, I'm sure one
They're
of them
in here, I'm sure.
have that name. So if people want to, of course, they come here.
Correct.
And they can get these nectar cups. How does that work?
So absolutely. So you come in, it's free to visit the aviary, so feel free to stop by and hang out. But if you want this experience, we do sell the nectar cups for $2 a cup, and it gets you just a little bit of an up-and-close personal experience with the birds.
What if I just wanted to drink it myself?
I have accidentally had it in my mouth, and it doesn't taste too bad. It's just a little bit like a sweetgrass.
There you
is
go.
what it reminds me of.
Sweetgrass. Yum, yum. So there's also a big thing going on here at Turtle Bay, and you started it this week, and that is...
Yes, we are so excited.
Yeah.
It's our Walk on the Wild Side show.
Yes,
so
Walk
our
on the Wild
big
Side.
summer shows, they're going on every single day except for Mondays. But you want to come by and see us at 11 a.m. or noon. So if for whatever reason you're not here right at 11, you have another chance right at noon.
So, of course, we know this is something you guys do every year.
Correct.
I would imagine you try to switch it up a little bit.
Oh, yes, sir.
So what's the big new thing you plan
So
on doing?
our big theme this year is survival, and whether it's you want to hide or you want to be seen in the wild.
Okay.
And there are a lot of adaptations throughout our native wildlife that can actually help us to decide whether they want to hide as a prey item or they want to be seen more as a prey.
So for me, I'm going to survive.
Yes, sir. You are surviving
How
right now.
How am I doing? All right. I don't know.
Well, lorikeets are the #1 predators of mice.
Oh my gosh, yes. So I'm doing everything I can.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing it as long as I know their name. I don't want to. Well, that poor little guy can't. Okay.
You do have to watch your feet in here because the lorikeets are everywhere all the time.
And watch what's going on, all that other stuff. So, well, thank you so much. And, of course, be sure to check out that Walk on the Wild Side show every day except for Monday.
Yes, sir.
Of course, thank you so much. And we will see you next week for another edition of Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Once again, I want to thank Cottonwood Veterinary Small Animal and Large Animal Clinic. They are the sponsor of not only Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, but the Animal Family segment that we have here. Of course, that does include, of course, Pet of the Week that we have on Fridays. So there you have it. That was kind of a fun, and I had mentioned Monday. So yeah, every day of the week, starting this week, it will be the show and Walk on the Wild Side, and of course their theme is predators and protecting yourself. So that's kind of fun, that's kind of neat. And starting tomorrow, starting Tuesday, is when you'll be able to watch the show. So maybe you want to get out there to watch the first one. Maybe they'll be ironing out the kinks. You know how animals can be. Sometimes they may not, work out for the best sometimes. I don't know. Animals can be unpredictable at times. So once again, want to thank Cottonwood and Small Animal and Large Animal Clinic for their sponsorship, and I want to thank Turtle Bay for kind of helping me out with that segment as well. Well, what do you say? Well, let's take a look at some of your comments first of all. And we've got Lisa saying good morning to everyone, as well as Ruth Sanchez, Elaine saying good morning, have a great week, and a cup of coffee. I think I'm going to have a little sip here. We got Shelley from Weaverville saying good morning and happy Monday to you all. And I want to thank Shelley for watching, because I know that when we took the vote as to push this back to 7 o'clock, you had mentioned that you would prefer 6:30. So I appreciate you still kind of checking in every once in a while, maybe a late start to the day at work or what have you. But remember, too, that if you're on a break at work or whatever, that you can always check out Coffee with Krueger on the website. You just go to weathernorcal.com, click on the Coffee with Krueger section, and then you can watch the latest Coffee with Krueger. So right after I'm done with this, it's recording as we speak, and then I upload it to YouTube. So you usually got to give it about 10-15 minutes after the show, and it will be available for you to watch. Good morning from Trinidad. Jackie saying good morning. Well, there's a look at your camera just north of where you are. You, of course, Jackie, know where this is. This is the iconic red schoolhouse out at Elk Country, just north of Trinidad. Looks a little foggy for you this morning, Jackie, and I think it might be a hard time for you to completely clear out, although there may be some clearing for you later on this afternoon. Well, what do you say we get to the forecast? And we're going to start off by, of course, talking about our sponsor, which is Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Well, as we look at our current temperatures out there right now, we're mainly in the 60s for most of us in the valley, but you know, one of the cool spots is out there in Willows at about 58 degrees, and it's mild. I mean, even as I kind of just sit here in my studio, it's kind of warm, and I think it's kind of a psychological thing too, because it's getting warmer out there. In fact, we got a warming trend through midweek. Could we see 100 degrees for the first time this year? Not out of the question. I think it's going to be borderline in some areas here, but I think some of us, especially the north end of the valley, Red Bluff northward, 100 degrees, not out of the question, baby, even a little bit warmer. Sierra afternoon thunderstorms starting today, really over the next few days. This is going to be kind of the typical summer-like type of situation where you see those clouds developing in the afternoon and maybe some of those showers and thunderstorms. But I think most of it will be south of even the eastern mountains, say, for example, Susanville. But we'll take a closer look at Futurecast here in a second. We have a cooling trend, though, by the end of the week, and quite a big cooling trend. We're going to go back down to the 80s possibly by the second half of the weekend in particular. All the energy is being pushed to our north, and there's a reason for that. We've got high pressure down to our south and west, and that's pushing that energy to the north. That's why we're not even seeing much in the way of cloud cover for us, although there were a few weak thunderstorms in extreme northern California and southeastern Oregon yesterday. But taking a look at this afternoon, so you see how we're seeing a few pop-ups here and there in the eastern mountains? Yeah, sure, it's not out of the question, but I think most of it will be to the south over the Sierra. But look at the coast. So I think places like Del Norte, southern Humboldt County could see some clearing this afternoon, but it may have a little bit more difficult time for central and northern Humboldt County. Look at this. As we go into 6 a.m., still that fog, and it's making its way into some of those inland areas as well, some of those inland valleys. But you can see not as much out towards places like Crescent City, and not to mention southern Humboldt County. As we go into Tuesday afternoon, once again, what we're seeing here, yeah, still a little bit of fog trying to kind of stick around towards the Humboldt Bay region, for example. But you see how we're still seeing some clouds in the higher elevations and maybe a stray shower trying to develop in the eastern mountains. But I'm going to keep it dry in your forecast. Most of it will be over the Sierra. And then we go into your Wednesday. Look at that. Wednesday morning, not much in the way of fog even for the coast. And then the afternoon, not much fog there either. Although, again, some of that fog trying to kind of persist for places near Eureka. So just be prepared for the fact that Eureka, you may have a hard time. But I think still, at least, you'll see some peaks of sunshine. Now, I want to show you what the high temperatures have been so far for the month of May. It's been kind of a bit of a roller coaster ride. So you think about what we saw last weekend. Temperatures were in the low to even mid-90s. The warmest we've seen so far for the month in this year was Saturday, the high of 94 degrees. But look at the weekend before that, the first weekend of May. Temperatures were in the mid to upper 60s. And then we gradually saw those temperatures. We went from 66 degrees on Sunday to 94 degrees. That's almost a 30-degree increase in a matter of 7 days or so. So definitely quite a spread in those temperatures. Now, again, we're going to see these temperatures go up. In fact, let's take a look at that trend here. And I'm just showing you Redding to kind of give you an overall trend that we're going to see across the region. But Redding's going to be the hottest, so I just kind of want to show you that trend. You see how it's going up? Could see up to about 100 degrees Wednesday, but then see how temperatures kind of going back down again. So it's that roller coaster ride of about close to a 15-degree drop from Wednesday as we get into the weekend. The normal high, by the way, is about 81 for the valley, so we're still going to be above normal, but at least we're going to be back down to the 80s by the second half of the weekend. So the reason for all of this is this ridge of high pressure right here. This ridge will slowly build, but the thing is, the peak of it, the main dome of high pressure, is still off through west. If we had this right on top of us, then yes, easily 100 degrees and higher. okay? But what's happening is this. It's trying to move eastward, but it can't. And the reason being, you see these storm systems here? They're riding to the north, and they're in a sense flat. You see how it flattens out the ridge initially by Thursday, Friday, but as some cooler air kind of rides over the Pacific Northwest, what's going to happen is it's going to push that heat back down to the south and west. So as a result, we're going from 100 degrees Wednesday back down into those 80s by the time we get into this upcoming Sunday. Now, it's still going to be above normal, as I mentioned, but at least we're kind of getting this hotter air out of the way. And here's the thing, as I look out over the next week or two, I'm not seeing any major heat waves. Once we cool things off a bit, yes, it'll probably get a little bit warmer, but nothing major at this point. In fact, we look at the temperature outlook over the next 14 days or 10 to 14 days. Here you can see we're actually near normal for this time of the year. And again, remember the normal in the valley at least is about 80, 81. So if we can keep it near normal, you're talking 80 to 85. Not bad, right? Okay, and then of course cooler as you head north. So again, I'm not seeing any major heat waves. Once we get past this week, then we'll see that dip in the temperatures. But take a look at the wave heights for today. There you can see around 5 feet. We go into your Tuesday, they might go up a little bit here. Now as a result, we do have for today through this afternoon a small craft advisory that's been issued. And it may be upgraded to a gale warning here later on today into tonight. North winds at 10 to 20 knots, waves from the northwest at 7 feet at 7 seconds, and from the northwest at 3 feet at about 14 seconds. So here's what it looks like today, your neighborhood forecast. We're starting off with Trinity County with temperatures along the Highway 299 corridor, mainly in the upper 80s. So yeah, a bit on the warm side. Temperatures kind of peaking around Wednesday, Thursday, and then we see that dip in the temperatures going into the weekend. Let's take you southward with a high of about 82 for High and Palm, 81 degrees for Forest Glen, as well as Wildwood and Peanut. Hayfork, a high of about 87. All right, let's take you down to the north coast. Now, this is for southern Humboldt County. You can see 82 degrees for Garberville. There's that peak coming up on Wednesday, and then temperatures do start to dip after that. We take you up north, about 61 degrees for Ferndale, 64 in Rio Dell, and Fortuna, about 64 degrees. Let's take you up even farther to the north with 65 degrees for McKinleyville, 62 for Eureka, 70 in Blue Lake, and there's Hoopa with a high of about 85 degrees. And out towards Orleans, a high of 88, 65 for Oric, Klamath 66, and Gasquet, about 74 degrees. Here is your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, the Highway 96 corridor there. Temperatures mainly in the mid-80s, give or take, low 80s as you head elsewhere along I-5 there. Hornbrook about 81, Wairika about 80, and Gazelle about 80 degrees. Scott Valley, right around 80. We'll call it upper 70s for most locations like Greenview and Etna. Fort Jones about 77 degrees. And for central and eastern Siskiyou County, we're talking upper 70s, low 80s. About 81 for Mount Shasta City, 82 degrees for McLeod, and 76 degrees for Tule Lake. Take you out to Modoc County. I think we'll stay out of the 80s at least for today, but there's that peak coming around Wednesday, Thursday, low 80s back down to the 70s by this upcoming weekend. And your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 81 for Montgomery Creek, 79 for Bernie, 82 degrees for Paynes Creek. We'll take you southward out towards Lake Almanor, Lassen Park, mainly in the 70s, although for Lassen Park in the 60s. Looks like they're still kind of working hard to get that road clear through the parkway there. Eastern Mountains southward, Paradise, looks like you are going to see an increase. Could get up to about 90 degrees by Wednesday before temperatures do start to drop. And for Susanville, peaking around Wednesday or Thursday with that warming trend. Let's take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast, brought to you by NorCal Tractor. Low 90s pretty much across the board. 92 degrees out towards Durham, 92 for Orland, 93 for Red Bluff. Look at that, Chico, about 99 for that daytime. Let's take you back south again. I want to show you that 7-day forecast. So again, we're splitting hairs. You've got 99 degrees on Wednesday for Chico. That's the peak, and then temperatures start to drop. But as we head north, I've got your 7-day outlook here for Red Bluff. You can see about 100 degrees there. Again, it's going to be probably somewhere between, I would say 98 to 101. Is what we'd expect here for Wednesday for everyone in the valley. And here's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. I've got you at 100 degrees as well for Wednesday. Temperatures will start to slowly drop after that. We're down to 90 by Saturday and 87 degrees by Sunday. So just a difference a few days makes. And once you know, first day of the rodeo on Wednesday, Redding Rodeo, it's 100 degrees. Ay, ay, ay. No, thank you, my friends. But there you have it. See what's going on out there. See if anybody has anything exciting going on here. Good morning from Trinidad. What will the temps be in Etna, Scotts Valley area tomorrow? Well, you saw today they're going to be in the upper 70s. I'm expecting some low to mid 80s for Etna, Scotts Valley in general. Traveling there today. Oh, okay. So Rowdy, yes. Today you'll be in the upper 70s once you get there, and then tomorrow in the low to mid 80s. So yes, it's going to be a warming trend, but at least it's not going to be 90s that we're seeing here in the valley. So it looks like you are going somewhere that may be a little bit cooler depending on where you're, of course, coming from. Curtis Brown saying good morning from 7 miles west of Red Bluff. Oof. Recorded a high of 98 degrees on Saturday. Yeesh. Oh my goodness. No, thank you. It's getting warmer out there, folks. What did we see? What did we see? I've got that calendar here. What did Reading see? Well, of course, you were about 4 degrees warmer than what Reading saw. Kind of interesting. But anyway, you look at it, it was hot over the weekend, right? And Mother's Day, okay, it dropped by a few degrees, but still pretty warm nonetheless. Calendar, let's take a look at the calendar. Let's just have a little fun with that. National Crouton Day. Today is National Crouton Day. Okay, National Women's Checkup Day. All right, women's health, important. Maybe a good day to do a checkup here, or think about maybe getting a checkup if you haven't had one in a while. National Fruit Cocktail Day. I don't know if I'm a big fruit cocktail guy, but if you like fruit cocktail, might be a good day for it. National Apple Pie Day, although I think about the Manton Apple Festival in October. That would be my National Apple Pie Day. National Frog Jumping Day. Okay. I guess maybe there's some kind of competition going on or something like that, but that's pretty much the gist of it there, folks. All right, well, that's going to do it for your Monday. Boy, as I just look outside, it's starting to just look hot. We're getting that time of the year where it's just going to get hot pretty much every day. Who's ready for it? Anybody ready for it? Anybody ready for, by the way, probably a good idea to start thinking about, if you haven't turned on your AC yet, trying today. And if it doesn't work, then be sure to give my friends out there at Dennis's Heating and Air a call, and they will set you up and get your AC work up and running. So that's what I would do. I've already checked. My AC is blown out that cold air, and I know we're going to need that. 600-foot elevation, Curtis. Well, okay, so, you figure you're actually slightly higher than the center of town of Reading, which is about 500 feet on average here. So interesting. Just depends. Sometimes these little microclimates can have a little mind of their own, if you will. Not Ready Swamp is going right now. Okay, so swamp cooler. So yeah, this is the time of the year where swamp cooler is good. As we start getting into those hotter temperatures, upper 90s, lower 100s, it's going to be a harder time for that swamp cooler. So hopefully you do have an AC unit that you can use eventually, because as we start getting those hotter temperatures, the swamp coolers become a little less effective, as I'm sure you already know that as a swamp cooler owner. All right, let's take a look at some of the cameras, and as we kind of wrap things up here today and get ready for this Monday, May 13th. You know what? We're going to leave you with some last look at some of the Aurora Borealis or Northern Lights that we saw on Friday, and then we'll get to some of those cameras. But thank you all so much for watching this morning. We will see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger starting at 7 a.m.